got? Today we've got a hand painted stained glass rose design for you. I know, check me out. But first we're going to put some decals on from the Queen of Decals herself. So I need to put down some base layers. So I'm going in with Snow White from CJP, and I'm just putting a thin layer all over this ring finger. Now I have some shards from the Glitter Planet, and because I'm doing like a stained glass window, that's what this is all around. I've been doing online art classes. I am absolutely loving it, and one of the classes was to do stained glass windows, and the first thing I thought was Beauty and the Beast and a beautiful rose. So I knew that once I'd had a go at this class that this is what I wanted to do. So these shards I thought would be great around the decals on both the ring finger and the pointer finger. So I'm going to go around the top near the cuticle area. I'm going to come down the right hand side and along the bottom so I can put the decal in the middle. That's my thinking, that's my train of thought. And I believe these shards from the Glitter Planet would be perfect and have that stained glass shattered window sort of effect. Love it. Have a look, see what you think. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm picking up with my dry brush. There's no acrylic on there, and I'm pushing them into the wet white acrylic from CJP, pushing it in, making sure it's all nice and flat. There's nothing around those edges. Then I'm going to do exactly the same on the pointer finger. So I'll come in with a bead of Snow White, pop that down, tuck it in around that cuticle area, up that side wall, and then move the front of that bead down the nail, stroke it out, and then I will come in with another bead. And here I will show you, I pick up the pigmented white, and I do this with any pigmented colour, black and red, those sort of shades. I wait for it to polymerise slightly before popping it onto the nail. Then I will work it this way. It won't stick to my brush. You'll see me working with it, not a problem. So I pop that on in exactly the same way. And then I'll come in with those shards again, only instead of going around the right side, I'm going to come in along the left side. Leave a gap in the middle where I can put the decal a little bit later. So I'll just let you watch this for a moment. So I'm going to leave that to set up. Then I'm going to come onto the middle finger. Again, this is going to be a full white. So again, I'm going to apply it in exactly the same way. Pull that bead down once I've tucked it in, around the cuticle and the side walls. Only instead of going around the edges with those shards for that shattered glass effect, I'm going to come in and I'm going to put it all over. I'm going to smash it into this nail. There we go. Pick up a dry brush with my dry brush, pick up the shards and smoosh it into that acrylic. That's it. We are very professional here and use terminology at all times. Not really, guys. No, not really. So here I am then, plonking that on. Smooth off those edges, make sure it's all nice and neat. Go round the edge, make sure it's not too close to that cuticle, those shards. A couple of them were trying to run away from me, so I'm not having that. They need to know who's in charge, that's what I say. So then I'm going to leave that set up before coming in on the Dinky Pinky. And here I'm coming in with Soft Lemon from CJP. They're all CJ products today. And I'm going to pop that around the cuticle area and then fade that up. So I will brush that out in a moment. Make sure I've got full coverage around that cuticle area. Then I'm going to come in with lemon curd, which is a pre-mixed glitter acrylic. That means it's got glitter and acrylic in, so I pick up the monomer, dip it into the pot and then straight onto that nail. Then I do come in with some of those shards and pop that over the top of that, just a few, so it ties in with the rest of the nail. Leaving that to set, I will then come in with a very thin layer of base coat, so I'll pop that on and then I'll scrape it off my brush, go in and remove any excess, clean up those sides, do exactly the same on the pointer finger because these two fingers are going to have the decals on. I always put a thin layer of base coat down. That will then make it really easy for me to manoeuvre the decal into place once it's ready. So with a drop of water, and you can see there's not a lot, I submerge the decal in, I hold it down for about 10-15 seconds, bring it out with my tweezers, see if it slides. No, not quite ready. Put it back in for another 5 seconds. This is all in real time. Get it out. Try and slide it off. Now I have got my gloves on. Move everything out of the way and dab that water off that decal. You don't want water on the decal. I heard somebody say wet your fingers. You don't need to wet your fingers. If that decal has enough water within it, it would slide off. I try not to touch the decals at all. This is why I'm using my tweezers. So I'll pop that on and I try and tuck the hair in at the top, but it's a little bit too long, so I'm going to just move that slightly, and this is why I have the base coat on, so that I can just slide it slightly down, fit it onto the base coat. It snugs around that nail beautifully. I'm going to do exactly the same with the beast. So I'm going to hold that into the water, pull it out with my tweezers, give it a little nudge, it comes straight off, use my tweezers again, dab it onto the blue tissue. You can see this now. Do both sides, get as much water off as possible. These decals, when they've got the water on them, they become very delicate, they can easily rip. Try not to touch it and manoeuvre it so much. So I'll pop that on there, hold it on one side, use my tweezers on the other. I can see quite a bit of excess with this one, so I do come in with some scissors. I'm not going to mess about, I'm just going to take that off. It's only a little bit, but it will make it easier for me to fit that on. Once I'm happy with that, I will then pop that in the lamp for a full 60-second cure to cure that base coat. Then what I do is I come in with a worn out file and I take off any of that decal that might be on that sidewall. When I encase this, I want it completely covered. If it isn't covered in the acrylic, it will peel during the wearability of this nail. So this is why very, very gently, again, they're still very delicate, very thin. So I do this really delicate. Once I'm happy with that, I'm then going to come in with clear acrylic and I'm going to completely encapsulate these nails. I'm only going to show you this one. So I pop down that bead, tuck it in around the cuticle area and then pull the front of that bead down, making sure that I keep the apex and the structure of that nail. Then I come in with another bead at the tip area to finish this encapsulation. I will cap the rest of the nails. I will then file and buff them into shape, but I'm just going to, like I said, just going to show you this one and then we can get on to the artwork. Right then, now we're coming into the hand painted rose stained glass windows. So I am using Crystal Nails Bob toothbrush, Artisan black gel paints, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to start to draw the rose. So I start in the centre and I do like a sidewards number 6. If I'm happy with it, flash cure it. I've only just learned how to do this, so I'm not confident enough to just draw it and then cure it at all. Lots of times I had to, like, you know, rub it out. I want to say rub it out. I was drawing, so I rub it out, but I had to take it off and put it back on. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing the backwards, the petal at the back of the centre. So I draw that in, and I'm going to build it up slowly, and I'm going to come down the side, and I'm going to do the front petals as they roll around the centre of that rose. Now, all the time that I am hand painting this, I'm anchoring my little finger, because I shake like... I was going to say something that really isn't very nice, so I'm not going to say it, but it's to do with a dog. But anyway, I can't. It's like, I'm not a shaky person or a nervous person, but the minute I pick up a brush, I don't know, I start to get like a bit shaky. So I anchor my little finger and I come down. Now, the trick is, don't have too much gel paint on your brush. I just pick up a little bit on the tip, and I'm using really light strokes to get those delicate lines. That's how I'm doing it, and I'm just doing the rose a bit at a time. I think this is where I go wrong. I did leave a bit of it in, but this was like, gosh, this was like an hour long, this video, so I had to cut it right back. Because like I said, I have only just learnt how to do this. So this is where I come in with a bit of gel cleanse on a lint-free wipe, rub it out, come back in with my brush. I think I have to reload it with some gel paint. No, it's working good. Excellent. So I keep building up this rose. Then I will do the bottom, so like the green stem, the cup in which the rose actually buds from. Then I'm going to pop on a couple of leaves. Now moving up to camera so you can see, because I feel alright with doing leaf shapes. I'm alright with that. It's the rose that I was a bit nervous about. It needs to look like a rose. It's no good just painting some blocks on, you know. Here I am just making sure that I'm happy with the detail that's in that leaf. Flash cure it quickly, because I've actually got to come over to the left side and do a couple more leaves in a minute, and I didn't want to nudge it or get it on me. You know what I'm like, Miss Clumsy herself. So again, put just a touch on the tip of my brush. I'm just making sure that I'm completely happy with that. Right, okay, so I've zoomed in here so that you can see, because my hand was in the way, how I do the leaves. Anchor my little finger, put in the detail, and then once I'm happy, cure it with the torch. Then what I need to do is put the lines of the stained glass window. So this is what I'm going to do next. So I'm happy with that rose, I'm happy with the leaves. I've flash cured it all in bits as I've gone along. So I'm going to put in the lines for the stained glass window, the lead parts of the window, isn't it? I'm going to put that all the way around. So anywhere where there's a point, so at the top of that leaves, the bottom of that stem, I start there, and then I add extra lines as I think it requires it. Need to put one or two on this side, look, because there's nothing here. Then once I'm happy with that, then what I'm going to do is frame all the way around the outside. So load my brush up. I'm going to go all the way around, doing a bit at a time, because I've only put a little bit on the tip of my brush. Squeezing the hell out of that brush, aren't I? Everything's white. So I'm coming around the edges. Just get that off. And I will go around all the edge of this nail. I can't remember how much quite I've left in. I left as much as I could for you without, you know, you being bored, but also to get the video down to a decent time. And then I will give this a full cure in the lamp before coming in with the next section. So I really do hope you've enjoyed this part of the nail. If you want to see some more sort of artwork and the sort of things that I've learned on my online courses, then just comment below and we'll see if we can get some more designs up for you. I'm not quite sure how intricate you want me to go on this art channel, so let me know what you think. It's not bad for a second go, is it? It's only the second time I've done this, so I was quite chuffed with it. And what we're going to do in a minute, we're going to use some jelly gel polish. So once this is fully cured, we're going to fill in each little part, each little segment of the rose. So I have it on a palette. Now I didn't have red, I have pink. So I put some pink jelly on, and then I added a bit of red and a bit of base coat to water it down so it wasn't too solid in colour, too opaque. I wanted it to be sheer, because that's what stained glass windows is, isn't it? I had a green, so I've got a bit of green, a bit of red, and we're basically going to pop the gel polish onto the nail within the confines of each line, as though, you know, you're colouring in a drawing. Now it is gel polish, so it does spread and run. So again, I do have to cure it just quickly, just a little flash cure with me LED torch, just to keep it into place. I've also got a lint-free wipe there. It's got gel cleanse on that so that I can clean my brush and I'm not messing around too much. So I'm just going to colour in all the green bits first. So I'll do the leaves at the top, I do the stem at the bottom, then I will clean my brush off, load it up with the red. It's a bit much there, get it off, and then just fill in each little bit, just a bit at a time. If it's too much, wipe off my brush, go in and take it off. It needs to go in between each section. I noticed that the gel paint there is starting to separate slightly, so I have to give it another little wiggle around and mix it in. Make sure I get that nice bright red. That's why I used the pink and the red instead of red and just base coat, which I could have done, but I thought by having the bright pink in there, because it really was fluorescent, it would make it more of a brighter red. Excuse me. So that's what I'm doing there. So I carry on, I will fill in all of this rose, and then once I'm happy I will give that a full cure in the lamp. This is all in real time, the hand painting is. I sped up the application of the acrylic. Like I said, we needed to cut this video down, but this is all in real time, the hand painting and everything. I thought you might like to see it in detail. We have to make sure that that gel polish doesn't go over those black lines. Because that's the whole point, isn't it? It's a stained glass window, so we need it to show the sections. and also with the shards underneath. Oh wow, it gave a fantastic finish. You'll see that shortly. So I'm just finishing this off, pop it in the lamp, give it a full cure like I said, and then it's time to top coat. So I'm going to top coat all of these nails with CJP tack free top gloss. Then guys, that's the end of the video. I really do hope you've enjoyed this little nail art today. If you have, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, I would absolutely love it if you would. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for tuning in and watching today. As always, there's a clip at the end to show you what we've done in detail. Everything used today will be in the description box below. And until next time, bye!